Okay, now that we know what is gross, what is net, what is domestic, what is national, what is factor price and market price, and how to convert them to the convert one to another, we are moving on to the uh, elaborate version of concepts. Okay, let's start with GDP, which is the first thing that will be available to us. Gross basically means total, actual price. We already have seen that. Domestic, we know what domestic is. Product is what we take it as income. So GDP is basically total value of goods and services produced within the country during a year. So here one thing that has to be very clear is that whatever is produced within the country, within the political boundary, within the geographical boundary of the country is being included into GDP. And we know the particular year, financial year, that is also being considered here. Always GDP, we started with market price. We have GDP at market price at hand, and from there we need to convert that into different levels to reach to NNPfc, that is what is national income is. So basically, GDP is anything that has been produced within the boundary of the country, within the domestic territory of a country in a accounting year. Right. So you can see this is where this image. That's what this image shows. Right. Anything. It can be asset. It can be house. It can be the services that we provide. Anything which is done within the domestic boundary of the country is considered as GDP. What does this image indicate? Suppose there is MNCs like Vodafone, Ford and all coming to India and producing. They have their own showrooms over here, they have their own plants over there in India, which comes within the domestic territory of the country. Will it be included in GDP? Yes, because whatever they do, whatever they produce, they are producing within the political boundary of the country. So their income will also be included as GDP. Right? I can explain it with another example. Okay, an Indian earning from abroad is not included in GDP, and foreigner earning inside India within our territory is included in GDP. Okay, suppose you all know Shah Rukh Khan, right? So Shah Rukh Khan is very much an Indian, right? He's not just a Bollywood actor, but he's also into so many business. He owns his own IPL team. He has his own food chain, restaurants, not just in India but overseas. His real estate business is also flourishing in India and overseas. Dubai, he has his own chain of real estate happening over there. Suppose he, an Indian, is earning through real estate from Dubai. Will it be included in GDP? No, because whatever he does, he's doing outside India, which doesn't fall under this within the political boundary of India. So his income, whatever he's earning from that real estate business owning in Dubai, will not be included in GDP. Okay, same way, Vodafone and MNC. Again, they are not resident in India. They are not staying over there. They are not from India. They are not an Indian company, but they are earning within the domestic territory of the country. They have their own office over here. They are earning. They are a foreigner. They are earning inside India, which will be included in GDP because it comes within the political territory of the country. So it's like a normal resident. The place of origin doesn't matter when it comes to GDP. Clear? So here the questions that you can expect is that uh, uh, what is included and what is not included. So you have to remember that it need not be positive always. Like they may ask a question like it can be negative just to confuse us. They will give a list of items and ask which of them belong to GDP and GNP. So once the concept is clear, you can easily categorize them. Okay, we are moving on to another concept of national income, that is gross national product. Here the only difference is that domestic has been changed to national, and we know how to do that, right? We have already studied domestic and national concept. Gross basically means total, product is income, GNP is all those income that is earned by Indian within or outside India. So all those all those goods and services, the value of all those goods and services produced by a normal resident. Normal resident means who is not confined to the political boundary of a country. So two things has to be very clear when it comes to GNP. He has to be a normal resident. That doesn't mean that he's confined to a political boundary. He can be staying outside India and earning, just like Kumar in our previous example, or even Shah Rukh Khan. Right? Because he is a resident of India, but he is going outside India in Dubai and earning money and sending it back to India. So even that can be considered as GNP, which is not considered in GDP. Another important thing regarding GNP is, again, like any other concept, it is also calculated within a financial year. Basically, that is one accounting year, that is from 31st March, 1st April. Okay, so GNP is the total measure of flow of goods and services at market value resulting from current production during a year, including net factor income from abroad. So when we have GDP, we need to add even the income coming from abroad, from people like Kumar, people like Shah Rukh Khan, and all those Indian companies that is working outside and earning money can be included at net factor income abroad, and gross national product can be estimated. Just like as I was explaining, all the Indian companies like Tata, Infosys, HCL, Indian Oil, all these companies are Indian companies. They go out, they have their offices over there, they send back, all their incomes are also considered as GNP. Right? I think already we have discussed all these things when it came to domestic, difference between domestic and national. So to convert domestic to national, we need to add net factor income from abroad, and we have also discussed in detail what is net factor income abroad and how to get it. So we are going to a practical question. This is the kind of questions that they will ask. Just to estimate GDP, GNP, what is the net factor income from abroad from the following data, not just data, from a following scenario they will provide. Okay, suppose this is, I have just shortened the question which I have seen in one of the paper. Suppose Anand is an Indian resident. He earns 12,000 rupee in a financial year. Bhavya is also an Indian resident who earns 7,000 rupee in a financial year. Zen, our old Zen. Okay, Zen, from who is a Chinese, who is residing in India, who is also earning 2,000. Kumar, who is very much an Indian but staying in US and earned 5,000 rupee. So from this given data, we need to find out GDP, GNP, and net factor income from abroad. First, we will start with GDP. For GDP, he has to be an Indian, and what is another criteria? Everything what is produced within the political boundary of India is considered just GDP. Here, Anand is in India and producing in India or earning in India. Same in the case of Bhavya too. She is an Indian resident. She is earning within the political boundary of India. Zen, he is not an Indian, but he is residing in India. That means he will also come under GDP because he is earning within the political boundary of India. Kumar, who is an Indian, but he is not there in India, he is in US and producing from there or earning from there, he cannot be included in GDP because he doesn't come within the domestic territory. Right? So Anand's income can be included, Bhavya's income can be included, and Zen, who is not an Indian but still stays in India and earns, can also be included. Right? GNP. Now GNP, domestic plus net factor income from abroad. What is the net factor income from abroad? To find out first, for that we need to find out net factor income from abroad, which we will get by factor income from abroad minus factor income to abroad. Right? We know that factor income from abroad comes from Kumar, and factor income to abroad, that is to China, 2,000 is being sent by Zen. So by deducting those two, we have 3,000 as net factor income from abroad, where we add that into our GDP, which we have already got. 24,000 will be the GNP. Right? Such questions can be expected. Net domestic product, and now we are moving over to the concepts. We have finished with gross concepts. We are moving on to the net concepts of national income. net domestic product, that is NDP, and net national product, NNP. NDP is basically the value of net output of an economy during a year. We have already discussed all these things when it came to that each concept. Okay, so we deduct depreciation to convert any concept of gross to net. So same like here, net domestic product, we get it from, already have GDP with us, we deduct depreciation. And NNP, that is net national product, we know that from domestic to national, we need to add net factor income from abroad to get net national product. That is the purest form of income in a country, which is partially considered as national income. And if it is at the factor cost, we consider it as a national income. Okay, there are other concepts like related to this thing which will be dealt in the next class.